Hey guys, Bobby here from Wedding Film School, a channel dedicated to educating and inspiring wedding filmmakers. And we've probably all heard about the overheating issues now since the release of the Canon R5 and the R6. But in this video, I want to share why I don't think it's something to worry about. I'll preface this by saying I have not been hands-on with this camera, and this is all based on what I've seen from Canon and my experience in 14 years as a wedding filmmaker. And that these are just my thoughts on this, but I also want to hear your thoughts. So be sure to let me know what you think about the overheating, and if you agree or disagree with me in the comments down below. I was incredibly excited upon the announcement of the R5 and the R6, just like many people, and then the other shoe dropped, so to speak, and we heard about the overheating issues that were present in their demo models, and this was all quickly confirmed by Canon. You probably saw these charts going around showing the max record times as well as how long the camera would need to be shut off in order to record again. And I get it, a new camera drops and we as wedding filmmakers want to know the ins and outs of where it excels and where it falls short. And then we all pledge allegiance to our camera brand of choice and point out the flaws of other cameras. I'll be blunt, this is not ideal. I'll be the first to admit it. And no matter what happens from here on out, everyone who ordered an R5 or an R6 should be doing some significant testing before entirely relying on them for a wedding. But with all of that said, I want to share a few reasons that at the very least lessen my concern about this issue. First off, while I would have loved to believe there wouldn't be an issue with overheating at all, I think some overheating is to be expected. You're talking about an 8K sensor in a mirrorless body. Second, let me take you back to 2015, the release of the Sony a7S II, a revolutionary camera in many ways, offering much but not all of what we as wedding filmmakers wanted. And shortly after shipping, the internet was run over with posts about the overheating issues. And they had a problem, no doubt. However, I think I learned two important lessons from that. First is that they actually fixed this issue through a firmware update. Now, was it completely fixed? You'll get mixed results, maybe not, but it was certainly better. And for me, it did seem completely fixed. So is it possible that Canon could do the same thing? Second, I never intentionally tried to get my camera to overheat, but I also didn't do too much to prevent it. And in the 4 or 5 seasons that we've used the Sony a7S II, I can only remember it overheating maybe 2 or 3 times. Additionally, it was never a problem since the times it would overheat are during a long recording like a ceremony, and I'm always running 3 or 4 cameras for that portion of the day, and so should everyone else who is being hired professionally if they are shooting with a DSLR or mirrorless with a 30-minute record limit. In my opinion, most importantly though, let's take a look at these record limits. In 8K you can go 20 minutes, 4K 60 can go 35 minutes, and 4K 30 oversampled is around 30 minutes. Sure, I wish there was no overheating problem, but when are you shooting that long at a wedding in these modes realistically? The answer should probably be never. I don't envision shooting 8K at a wedding, period. And if 4K 60 is your thing, that should be used for all the B-roll clips. You're not shooting long form in that format. Shoot the ceremony at 4K 24 and you should be good to go, or just shoot it at 1080. I know that's not ideal for everyone, but every camera has drawbacks. If you shoot Sony a7S II or a7 III, you can't shoot 4K 60. If you shoot Panasonic or Fuji, your autofocus can be lacking sometimes. And if you're going to shoot the Canon R5 or the R6, you might not be able to record a full ceremony in 4K. That is how the camera game works. You always need the right tool for the job, and every tool excels in some areas and falls short in others. But if you plan accordingly, you should be able to plan for those drawbacks. Also, just to note, yes, Canon did say that the camera temperature can increase in these modes even if it's not recording, but I don't anticipate sitting idle raising the temps as much as recording does. And lastly, remember that there are things you can do to mitigate the heat as we learned with other cameras, mainly from Sony. They have an internal temperature warning setting, which you can set to the max. Keeping them out of direct sunlight before shooting and even during shooting with an umbrella or something can help out, as well as operating with the battery compartment open or swapping batteries even if they aren't entirely discharged to alleviate some of the heat. I don't know, I feel like we as wedding filmmakers have been asking for a camera that shoots 4K 60 with good autofocus, good colors, internal stabilization, something that can shoot log and more, and then Canon comes along and gives us everything we asked for plus a ton more. And we're all over here tearing it apart because it can only shoot 8K for 20 minutes. Again, I wish this wasn't something we even had to think about. But just because there are overheating problems doesn't mean that these cameras are no longer useful. In fact, I still think that the R5 and the R6 will still be amazing cameras for wedding filmmakers, and for the reasons listed earlier, with the right workflow and planning, real world, I don't see this being as big of a problem as it's being made out to be. But again, those are just my thoughts, so I want to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know where you're at with the R5 and the R6, what you think about the overheating issues, and please like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you in the next video.